SIP is the best way to invest. You must have heard this many times, even if you don't invest in mutual funds. But this statement is not entirely true. In SIPs, you might make some mistakes that you may only realize after many years, and by then you might have already incurred significant losses. Hello and welcome to our channel 5 Minute Finance by ET Money, where we talk about the basics of investing and personal finance. Today's video, we'll share 3 lesser known secrets of SIP with you. These secrets will help you make the right decisions in your investment journey. So let's get started without any delay. SIPs don't guarantee better returns. In simple words, not everyone who invests in SIP gets the same returns. You heard that right. When we use an SIP calculator, we usually calculate returns based on 12%. We take 12% because in the past, Nifty 50 has given such returns. But as we mentioned, not everyone gets the same returns. It's possible that if you plan your savings based on 12%, you might end up disappointed in the future. Let's understand this point with past SIP returns. We checked what returns would you have gotten if you had invested in Nifty 50 through SIP for 10 years starting from the year 2000. So if an investor started an SIP on 1st January 2007, after 10 years he or she would have received 9.35% returns. On the other hand, if someone started in 2008, the 10-year returns would have been 12.13%. If you look at the range of returns, it varies between 9.35% to 22.62%. This means your returns depend on market conditions and a bit on your luck. If you think you are guaranteed 12% returns, that's not the case. You also need to be mentally prepared for returns in the range of 9 to 10%. And this leads us to our next point. Most investors focus on returns. They chase top performing funds to get better returns. This is a fair point. Returns are important. But what's even more important is how much you invest. Let's understand this with actual examples. In the last 10 years, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund has been a top performer and Kotak Flexi Cap has also done really well. But its return is about 5 percentage points lower than Parag Parikh's fund. So if you had invested 5,000 in the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund through SIP for 10 years, you would have received a 21.82% return and the value of your investment would be around 19 lakh rupees. Now if you had invested 7,000 rupees in Kotak Flexi Cap Fund, which gave a 17.3% return over 10 years, your investment would have grown to around 21 lakh rupees. No one knows how a fund will perform in the future. We select funds based on their past performance, but it's possible that in the future that fund may not perform well. That's why your focus should be more on the investment amount rather than just the returns. So whether you earn 9% returns or 15%, investing a higher amount will ensure that you can comfortably reach your targeted amount. One more thing, investing in top performing funds is not the only way to build a large corpus. If you regularly increase both your income and your investments, you can still do well. And to be clear, we are not talking about saying investing in underperforming funds. What we are saying is that it is impossible to be in the top performing funds all the time. So your strategy should be to keep increasing your SIP amount. Whenever the market falls, people rush to make lump sum investments, hoping to get good returns. But if you look at the returns, you'll realize that this strategy only works in a 7 to 10 year period. If your investment period is longer, like 15 years, this strategy does not work. In a 15-year period, if you combine SIP with lump sum investment, there isn't a very big difference in returns. As we checked, if someone invests through SIP for 15 years, their returns would be 13.78%. But even if the investor makes a lump sum investment during a 5% or 10% market correction, their returns would still be similar. But if you are only looking at returns, that's only half the picture. Lump sum investing makes a significant difference to your final corpus. For example, if an investor invests 10,000 rupees per month through SIP for 15 years, their corpus would be around 55.4 lakh rupees with returns of 13.78%. Now, if that same investor invests an extra 1.2 lakh every year during every 5% market correction, the returns would still be 13.77%, but the final corpus would grow to 1.1 crore rupees. So SIP plus lump sum is better than just a simple SIP, and this adds more weight to our previous point. Investment is more important than returns. So if you can make lump sum investments along with your regular SIPs, you should not hesitate to do so. And if you can't, you can still increase your SIP amount every year. To understand the SIP plus lump sum strategy in more detail, you can watch our other video. The link is in the description. And with this, we have come to the end of this video. If you found it insightful, please make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you with another insightful video soon.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.